It's 93.9 WKYS, your number one for the most hip-hop and R&B in the DMV. Aladdin, Prince of the Airways, hanging out with you. And I got a special guest hanging out with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful, talented Melanie Fiona.
Yeah.
She's back, man. It's been a minute, sis. I think the last time you were here was like 2018.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it might have been, it was like 2 years where we were locked in the house almost.
Yeah, because I think you had the show at the Anthem, and then we hung out afterwards.
That's right. That was a great show.
That really was. It really was. Well, you're back. You're out. Well, first and foremost, before we even get started, how's the family?
The family is beautiful. I am so grateful. My children are now 9 and 3 years old.
Wait. Cam just turned 9?
Cam is 9. I know, baby Cam.
Where's the time gone? You just had him.
What is time?
Wow.
Yeah, but everyone is blessed. I cannot complain. I'm grateful. Everybody's happy. Everybody's healthy and safe, and that's all we can ask for our children.
I love it. Well, you're back. You're out, and you got new music for us.
Yes, sir.
New EP, Say Yes.
Say Yes. It's officially out. I'm so happy. I feel such a sense of accomplishment and relief and joy. To be able to, give music back to my fans and to just express myself musically again. It's a season of freedom for me. So I just feel really, again, just a spirit of gratitude and just full joy.
Is this album independent?
Yes, this EP. I partnered with an independent label out of Canada. I'm from Toronto, so
Yep.
I was in a place where I had gone through some things professionally, and I just really didn't know which way to go when it came to music and what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. And I had some friends up there who have an independent label, and they were like, "Hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to put out some music? Like, let us help you." And so, again, in the spirit of say yes to let people show up for you. Say yes to let people who want to help you. Say yes to letting the universe surprise you and reminding you that you're not done and you can fulfill and move forward and you are supported and there are people checking for you. And so that really inspired me to say, I do have some songs I want to put out. I do have some things I want to say, and I do want to do this. And, the timing is always on God's time. I really, a lot of people are like, well, where, why and why now? And, it's really just the timing was now. I just answered the call. The universe is like, hey, you got more to do. You have more to say. Your purpose is still to use your voice. And again, I'm so grateful that I just answered the call and said yes. And so this project is out. It's independent. It's a whole new space for me to be able to navigate now as an independent artist and it just being a mother and a woman and a wife and all the responsibilities of, all of that. But how I want to do my art now and how I want to be in music is it's a completely different lens for me this time. But, I'm in the driver's seat, so it's a great feeling to be in charge, but it's a lot of work as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are some of the things you've learned, kind of being in this independent space?
That community is everything. And, again, I have a beautiful community of people that have journeyed with me from the beginning of when I first came out to, through motherhood, through, doing my Mama's Den podcast and sharing more personal sides of my life. I had people who came with me along this journey just in the interest and concern of who I was as a human being and not just, a Grammy Award-winning singer with music on the radio. So that to me is the priceless thing that you need when you are building anything truly, and I think the thing that we often get caught up in is that, especially in a space of social media where people are so obsessed with going viral and numbers and how many people you have following you, you just have to have a small group, if that, of true fans and people who want to support what you're doing. And that's just that's my revelation for anybody out there that's trying to build anything,
Yeah.
Just find your niche of people and create for yourself and for them. And you can be successful, So it's the community aspect for me. It's the fans and the people who for all these years were just like, whenever you're ready, girl, we're here. We're ready for new music. We're here whenever you're ready. So I'm ready. And I'm grateful that I have the people that I have in my corner, streaming the music, liking the stuff online, buying tickets to the tour. Just so grateful.
I love it. Talking to Melanie Fiona right here on 93.9 WKYS. Now, let me say, you sound like you are free and you had fun making this album. I mean, let's talk about this record with La Russell, Make Me Feel Good. Oh,
Yes.
man.
Listen, I'm so glad that you used those words because that is literally how I feel about this project and that song specifically. Make me feel, the words are make me feel good like a Sunday morning,
Uh-huh.
Sunday mornings are just, I think, the day, we think about days of rest and peace and, what do you want? You want to have a really good breakfast or you want to lay in bed or you want to go to church or whatever you want to do on a Sunday morning. And so, I wanted to create a song that felt like a summer bop you could ride to in your car. And, it's produced by D-Mile, who, as you know, has done everything from Victoria Monet to Silk Sonic, Bruno Mars,
Yep.
everything. He's literally one of the greatest producers in the music industry. And so the musicality of it just had this bounce. And I knew I wanted to have a feature on it. And I recently connected with La Russell over the last year. And I did a song with him for his stuff that he's doing.
Uh-huh.
And I sent it to him and I was like, hey, you want to jump on this? And he just absolutely, 100% nailed it, right away.
Yeah, facts.
We didn't have to go back and forth.
Nice.
He just got it from the perspective. He brought a male perspective to it. He rode the beat. When you listen to La Russell, you just can't help but smile because he's smiling when he does what he does, So it just brings that energy. It's just joy. It's a bop. It's so fun. And again, it's really free. So, I love that you picked up on that.
Oh, man. As soon as I heard, I said, oh, my girl is having fun. I can hear the joy in your voice. It just sounds like, I think, the independent part, but I think I could just feel the excitement of you recording music again. And it felt very refreshing. And I love this record. Is there a certain record off the project that's very personal or that is your favorite?
So tough. These records are all really, really
yeah,
personal.
I can tell. I'm sure.
Yes, this entire project is, inspired by my life and the journey of what transformative and healthy love looks like on me. And, being a wife and a mother, there's a lot of feelings that do come up. And if you listen to these songs, you'll get a little bit of a better insight, I think, to some of the things that I feel and the perspectives that I have when it comes to how I feel about my love. And so, Say Yes is obviously, Say Yes is such a super special record on this project because it's, one, the name of the project, but there's two versions on the EP, and the extended version is 7 minutes long.
Ooh,
and
okay.
It's 7 minutes long, and so, that to me is such a special record because of who's on it. I co-wrote it with Sir. He's also doing background vocals on the extended version. Andre Harris, Chris Dave, Charlie Burrell, and Thundercat, some of the most incredible musicians and artists in the music industry. And this is just a live jam session. So what you hear in this song it's just art. It's just the greatest musicians in a room, no verbal communication, yet all the music magic just transitioning from vibe to vibe to vibe. And so we just let it run. We didn't even stop it. We just let it go. And so it's completely live from that perspective. But from a personal perspective, that was the anchor song for this entire project. That was the song that sent me in the direction of completing this project. And, it's pretty much an open love letter to my now husband and, what it means to say yes. We would have never arrived at this place in our lives, in our family, and having our children. And I would have never arrived at being this woman that I am without saying yes in that very vulnerable time to move forward with him and choose each other and decide, hey, we're going to put behind us what's already happened and go forth together. Wow. And we'll never know unless we say yes. And so, that's what I want people to understand about this project is that it's affirmative language. I want people, when they say, have you listened to Say Yes? They're already affirming positivity in their lives. And I want people to question what they can say yes to in their lives, to just be their best, freest, fullest self. And everything great is on the other side of saying yes. So I just want people to live in that spirit and live in that space and feel inspired by it.
Wow, that's so powerful. Talking to Melanie Fiona right here on 93.9 WKYS. Let me ask you this, because I just did an interview with Neo, and we were just talking about the artistry of music and just kind of where it's at, and just hearing you say that, you guys did a live jam session, and just getting back to the art of making music. I remember there was a time when you didn't want this song to end. Where do you feel music and the state of R&B is right now, just kind of, with some of the newer, younger artists in making vulnerable music?
Vulnerability is to me a superpower.
Yes.
And I really, as a vocalist, feel like that's the way I can best express myself, by being honest and transparent. And I think that R&B has just become extremely diverse. There's so much R&B and what's considered R&B out there. There's traditional R&B, there's new R&B, there's lo-fi R&B, there's chill R&B. We have so many versions that people have to find what they love. And I think that everything, like R&B and like everything in life right now, it's just about finding what you like.
Yeah.
There's just so much out there. Talent is subjective because people like people for doing silliness on the internet now. It's not even just about, if you have talent, but can you entertain people?
Yeah.
What's your personal life about? What kind of scandal or, things that are happening? So entertainment has changed overall and how people are entertained. But R&B to me is sacred. And I think my only thing with new R&B is that I really hope that the new R&B is always making sure that they're aware of what original R&B is. And they give that their flowers, because you hear some new artists and you're like, have you listened to? And they're like, they have no idea who that person is. And we're like, what? Like, how can you say you're in R&B and you've never heard of this staple name in R&B?
Right.
And so I think that's just, for me, the education of R&B as far as new artists. So, newer artists who are getting into R&B, like, just, give your flowers to the people that paved the way for you to even understand how you evolved into that. That's my stance on R&B. But I love that there's room for everybody right now. I love that everybody can exist and everybody can have their own fan base. And, people are out here still being my fan base, and I'm still making a new fan base. Even off of newer R&B artists. So,
yeah.
It's interesting. But like I said, everything's changing so fast. Everything's changing so fast.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're going to be in D.C. very soon. You're coming to see us.
Yes, I am. I'll be back at the Howard Theater on April 29th. That's the second date of the tour.
Okay.
The Say Yes tour kicks off April 27th. So, I'm just so happy to be back in the DMV. Like, the DMV has always been one of my best and sweetest markets. Like, y'all always bring me back. Y'all always show out. Y'all always have a good time. And the DMV just knows good music.
Oh,
so,
facts.
I'm just excited for people to hear, the original songs, the It Kills Me's and the 4 a.m.s that they haven't seen in a long time, and then experience the art of what this new music sounds like in the story of my musical life. So, people I don't think have ever seen me this way. This is like my first headline tour in years. And so this is really a place for me to reintroduce myself, talk to my audience, let them know where I've been, and just perform in such a way that I don't think they've ever seen me perform and storytell. So I'm just really, really excited to be back at the Howard on April 29th.
I can't wait to see you, Mel. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of your evolution. I'm so glad that you were still doing music, and I love to see the space that you're in. I cannot wait to see you on the 29th. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, we need you to go get tickets. We need you to download, stream, tell everybody, say yes, especially when a world where everybody tells you no. Now we're going to tell you, say yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support.
Always, always. If people want to find you, connect with you, and if they want to get tickets to the show, where can they do that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tickets is at MelanieFiona.com. In fact, everything is at MelanieFiona.com. You can get the tickets. You can find the links to stream the music. And then, of course, on all socials, I am at Melanie Fiona on Instagram, X, TikTok, all the things. So, just come say hi to your girl, grab your tickets, and I'll see you guys so soon.
There it is. Melanie Fiona, ladies and gentlemen, right here on 93.9 WKYS.